It's the greatest spectacle in racing, and we get underway to decide both who makes the race and who bumps out. Welcome to Sunday. It's pole day and bump day from the Indianapolis Motor Speedway, and it's time for the last chance practice on Fast 12. Hello everybody, well done for joining us. The session is underway. Apologies, it took a while to get going. Blame Sky Sports. They are not showing this session live, which means we have literally had to sort of find our best way around it to get it sorted. Alongside me in the commentary box, not doing much this weekend, are you, Jess? Hello, how are you? No, still can't hear.
There we go. Can you hear me now?
Yes, we can. Hello, how are you?
I'm doing great, thanks. I was not meant to do much at all, but since not many people are here and because you have no voice, I thought I may as well pop on until the rest get here, and then I'll pop up afterwards. Yeah, it's going to be good.
I don't have any voice. That is absolutely 100% true. It hurts like absolute crazy coming into this one. So thank you, Jess. I can't find out
Mute Ninja.
Oh yeah, there it is. I couldn't find out where the normal timings were for some reason. They were hiding from me. If I just, I don't know what's going on here now. Well, the timing screen's still mucked up. Yeah, they are. There's me trying to be sensible and move things around. Timings are still wrong, unfortunately. Oh well, there we go then. Still in the last session. So then, Jess, yesterday was absolutely ecstatic. VK getting in the last second. What are you expecting coming into this one here today? Who do you think is going to get bumped?
I think Seagull's going to get bumped. I'd said this at the end of the broadcast yesterday. I think it's going to be between Ray Hall and Seagull, and I think Seagull's going to get bumped. I don't think he's going to get anywhere near Ray Hall's possible time. But I have to say, Hunter Ray impressed me yesterday. Obviously, VK.
Yeah.
And there's one other person that I didn't mention as well that almost got bumped last year, but has comfortably made his way through this year. Stingray Rob, successfully in the 500, not taking part in bump day.
Nope, he's safely in and safely through. Let's check down pit road for the first time today.
Jim Campbell from Chevrolet moments ago. He did tell me they have indeed made some software changes to the Chevy engines. They won't go as far as saying they're reducing the horsepower, but they're trying to increase the reliability in these Chevrolet engines and have what happened yesterday not happen today while they're running for the pole for the Indy 500. Now, Chevrolet has 9 cars in the Fast 12. Last year, they had 8 cars in the Fast 12 and did not win the pole. They will run 8 different engine settings, Townsend, in the cars that will run today. The one car that's missing, Renus VK, they're going to stay in the garage area for this entire session, still working on that crash damage that VK had in his qualifying run in the first run yesterday. But Townsend, they're trying several different things here with the Chevy teams. Number one, trying to keep as much power as they can in the software change, but number two, making sure it's reliable for all 4 laps. That's what you got to do when you're running for the pole for the Indianapolis 500.
You got it, Marty. I got a big ask.
Yes, sir.
I know you don't like to get your hands dirty, but I need you to place your palm somewhere on a concrete or asphalt surface and tell me how hot you think it is, because I think we're getting some bad data.
Yeah, I think our weather graphic is way off by like 20 degrees.
Yeah.
I mean, it feels so warm. And that's an interesting point, Townsend. We saw Team Penske make the one run early yesterday and then not go back out. Well, the reason they decided not to go back out, they thought the conditions right now would be warmer than they were yesterday afternoon. Wow. And that's indeed the case. It's warmer right now, and it's going to be even warmer yet this afternoon. So the hottest day they've had to deal with so far, which goes into your point about trying to make it consistent for 4 laps. Yes, it's very warm here on the track surface at Indy.
I'm glad you guys are saying this, because when I saw that graphic that said 67, I thought, there must be something wrong with me, because it felt quite warm walking through this facility today.
It's noon, and yeah, so track temp's got to be 100 plus right now would be my guess. So we'll continue to dig in. Maybe Marty can find one of those little digital temp gauges and fire away, give us some numbers. That'd be fun. But for Santino Ferrucci, things are looking pretty good. 2:31.8 the last lap.
Yep, getting faster and faster. But of course, Jess, we saw yesterday the speed traps here. Absolutely insane when it comes to A, how fast, and B, how quickly this runs. It's insane the amount of pace they have. But the Chevys were having problems yesterday with the high speeds.
Yeah, and that is where they're going to lose out so much in the Fast 12 today. And don't forget, only 6 will get through to the Fast 6. So how it's still going to work in practice is for the Fast 12 are going to be doing their practice session first. I don't know how long. I think it's probably for an hour. And then the next hour will then be dedicated to the ones who are going to get who are in danger of getting bumped. So that's 31 to 34. If you're 13 to 30, you don't have to take part today. You get a nice relaxing afternoon off.
Yeah, we hate them. Let's just say that right here, right now, as we're ready in the ComCam. Ayrton Senna flag, we've just come off here from the Emilia-Romagna Grand Prix, if you're joining us as well. Volume too low. Okay, hang on. How's that? Better?
Am I too low or Josh is too low?
It was us. Probably OBS is having a bit of a paddy on the software. Is that okay? Is that better? Ken, we've adjusted the volume. We've turned up the mixer as well for the track noise, so hopefully that works, and I'll turn up NBC. Not on our usual software for this session because it's not shown on Sky Sports F1. We're having to use INDYCAR Live, which is around about 10 seconds delayed, which isn't too bad from our normal pictures, but Award 233.462, Kirkwood 232.896, Ferrucci 232.068, Power 231.829, Hutteray 231.799. So they're adjusting it out there as well. And my voice is dying, basically. It's going to survive. I had a sore throat yesterday. It was worse this morning. It's got better throughout the day. And then that last lap of Formula One really did it. And now we've got 2 hours here, an hour break, then another 3 hours. We'll see how it goes. In that hour break, I'm going to be lying down having food with... So I should be okay for that. But if you're watching the All-Star race later on tonight, I won't be on the broadcast. I've decided to keep that one a miss. It's a non-championship race. It's an All-Star, and Matthew and Josh T will have much more fun with it on their own anyway.
Josh T knows, but Matthew Owens hasn't got back to me.
I think he knows it. He'll be here anyway for the session, but he'll know. I'll tell him though.
Yeah, and Josh T's going to message Matthew Owens later anyway, so...
Fantastic.
I'll be asleep when that happens because I've got work tomorrow morning.
Okay, Ken saying, why is the volume so low? I'm looking at the bus mix in front of me. We're peaking in the normal run around. I'm looking at OBS. That's peaking in the red, which is okay. It's in the orange. They're peaking red.
You are fine for me. You are fine for me, Josh. So I think it's as in. So I've been looking at the stream. And it's fine. So I think, Ken, it's your audio because we don't want to have the audio on too loud to deafen people.
I would say check your
I
device.
think it's you.
Yeah, check your device. Refresh maybe. That might work as well.
It sounds fine for Richard.
Excellent. Zoran X as well saying, where are you watching in the UK? We're on INDYCAR Live, which is where you have to pay because Sky aren't showing it until 7 o'clock. Sky are showing a hour highlight of this
Ted
session.
Notebook.
Yeah, so it's Ted's Notebook, then they're showing INDYCAR session. So it's not all the way you want it. As we line up board with Alexander Rossi, and that is a bit loud, as they've turned it up on the NBC side of things. Rossi's opening time, 2:19.356, comes across the yard of bricks, does a 2:32.728 as his next practice time. Fast 12 practice and bump day practice. What's the point when it was an hour ago, silly from Sky? I agree, they've got 12 channels and they don't shove it on the red button or anything.
That's what TNT do well.
Yeah. But, so we're having... So, thanks to Jess, because she's paid for all the INDYCAR. It used to be free.
My money.
Yeah, so thank you, Jess. We must reimburse you for that at the end of the year.
No, Josh, don't do that, because I use it too.
Oh. If you got it on right now as your pictures, then that might actually help. I know Omi's watching. Hi, Omi.
I've got it on my side, Joe, as well, so I can. It's around about the same.
Yeah.
Thing, so yeah, it's fine.
Excellent. Everyone's saying thanks, Jess. Rossi's last lap time as well. Was it a personal best? Yes, it was. It's 2:38 in turn 3 speed trap, so it's a 2:33.155 as his next lap time. Not a bad run now, actually. Last lap was 2:32.779, so Rossi getting faster and slower, so he's just flicking the pace, see where he's got it. See where he's having the advantage from. Pato to the top. O'Ward now into the pits, but fastest, Rossi second. So McLaren 1 second away, but we're going to see just when the Penske's come in. They were 1, 2, 3 in qualifying day 1. Power on provisional pole. Can he do anything to really put the cat amongst the pigeons?
It is going to be interesting. It's going to be a battle between Penske's and McLaren because 3 McLarens out of the 4 made it through to the fast 12 too.
Yeah.
So I think we're going to keep an eye on Rossi and keep an eye on Newgarden in particular because he set the record on Friday with a 2:34. So he's still got some stuff in the tank for Newgarden. Watch out for him.
Desperately don't know what's happening with our timing graphics up here in the comms box.
It's weird.
I'm going to have to reset this thing then by the time I get going. I've lost the timings. Where are they?
And for those of you wondering who's gonna be in the danger to get bumped, it's Catherine Lake, Marcus Ericsson, Graham Rahal, and Nolan Siegel. And the ones in the fast 12: Will Power, Scott McLaughlin, Joseph Newgarden, Alexander Rossi, Carl Kirkwood, Carl Larson, Felix Rosenquist, Satina Ferrucci, Takuma Sato, Pato Award, Ryan Helptaway, and I can't remember who else it was.
I'm really confused on my own OBS as to where things.
What's wrong?
Well, the timing. Hang on a minute. Right, so that's normal.
Ken says it's good now.
Oh,
so
excellent.
whatever he did, he fixed it.
Yeah, it's okay. So the INDYCAR timing double. That's normal. The normal timings. Okay, I found out where the problem's coming from.
All right.
Yeah, found the problem. Yeah, found it, fixed it. I was wondering what was going on because it was just confusing me why I couldn't see all the proper deltas. And yeah, anyway, let's head down to pit road for the first time today.
He was one of those that dealt with that, and yeah, I don't know what happened. So he had to shut it down midway through the first run, some adjustments, back out later in the day for another try, and this one went quite well. Gets congratulations from Jeff Gordon with Hendrick and Tony Kanaan as well. All right, that has been a big story. Chevrolet this weekend. Honda has had challenges too. For more on the Chevy side, here's Marty.
Yeah, another Chevy on the track with Scott McLaughlin. Let's talk to Jim Campbell, the man who heads up everything General Motors Racing. And Jim, kind of take us behind the scenes. How stressful have the last 24 hours been? And talk about the work that's gone into just getting here this morning with this practice session.
Well, first of all, in the off-season, our Chevrolet engineers combined with our partners at Elmore have been working hard to bring more power to the track. I think we've done that. Really proud of the job they've done, working with our teams. And obviously, when you get to the qualifying here, we moved the boost up to 1.5 bar, about another 100 horsepower. We don't do any testing during the year. Friday's the only day, and then you're right into qualifying. So we're pushing as hard as you should. That's what you have to do to have a shot to qualify on the pole here. So the teams want us to push. We did have some issues yesterday on plenum events, had about 6 of them. So overnight, we've been working on dynos in different parts of the world, and then looking at all the data, and today testing a couple adjusted cals for this afternoon. So it's going to be exciting. Rossi just had a no-toe at 2:33 and a little change there. So I'm excited to see what happens this afternoon.
When you say around the world, you're not kidding. You had a dyno in England going overnight. There are 8 different cars out here running for you right now. So my understanding is they're kind of testing 8 different things to make sure here's what we want to go with in pole run later.
It's not quite 8 different things, about 3 different scenarios that we're testing right now, and then we'll focus on which one we'll roll out to all the teams for this afternoon. Ed Carpenter and the VK car, they're in there tuning up after that crash. They got out here, made the fast 12, but more work to do to get that car ready for its ultimate speed.
So yesterday it seemed to be the hotter it got, the more the issues crept up. It's going to be much warmer today. Is that a concern at all, Jim? Does the ambient play a role in this at all?
Yeah, I mean, when you get up to 1.5 bar, you know, we get higher ambient temperatures and conditions. It certainly will test all the engines out here, no matter which OEM. There's no doubt about it. So, but we think we've got a way to manage through it and make a run at the pole.
Townsend, you know this better than anybody. The days when you win, those are the fun days when you're on Jim's side, but days like yesterday and days like today, those are the stressful days when you're trying to get everything you can out of that engine, and sometimes you push it just a little bit too far.
Yes, you do. And that was the problem we were seeing yesterday. Just to ask Richard's question, I didn't answer it in the chat. I want to say it here as well. Yes, we are covering the Coca-Cola 600 next week. We're also covering the All-Star race tonight. I am not, because I have put my voice in a... Well, we were off here for what, an hour, Jess? Somewhere like that? And
we finished about 10 to 4, 5 to 4.
Yeah, so I completely shut up for over an hour. And I had drinks and a bit of food, just trying to get the voice sorted and fix the whatever's wrong with it. So I'm all right for now. I've got a few things in the box as well that just to produce a bit of things so you can eat and it makes it feel better. But then I am going to be very tired tonight. Guess I'll be spending the day with you guys. Perfect, Richard. Stay here. Join us. Welcome. So yeah, we'll be on here.
Just me and Matthew Owens will be doing the All-Star race.
Yeah, I am not doing the All-Star. Me neither.
Yeah. I'll be asleep.
Yeah, I will be too, actually. I'll watch it tomorrow. I will be asleep, recovering and resting the voice and getting ready for tomorrow.
Oh, yeah, I can watch it on Viaplay with the commentary from us, so...
Yeah, I'll be ready for tomorrow for the, practice 8. For practice 9, which is...
Is that tomorrow?
Practice 8 is tomorrow, yeah. 2-hour practice.
Oh, right.
Yeah, it's non-stop for us. Tomorrow is actually perfect because all 33 cars will go out, which means I get to adjust the timing tower and make sure it's all ready for...
Ready for Sunday.
Ready for Sunday, yeah. Make sure everything's good. I'm amazed, Omi's standing up on the commentary camera we've got here in the com cam where we can see us all, despite the fact he doesn't need to be.
He likes standing up, Josh.
I know, but even
That's his thing.
I've sat down though for the practice session. I've been stood up all day, so I'm sitting down for a few hours. You can probably hear the voice in the back going, Rosenquist. Oh, and Newgarden to the top. Newgarden goes fastest, 233.938 fastest. Rosenquist was top, 233.485 mile an hour. So they're giving it a turn. They're moving around out there, but Joseph Newgarden, fastest overall. Penske coming to take over again, Jess, and that's what we like to see. I'm loving this one. It's going to be a really, really fun session.
Newgarden 233.9. That is very impressive, but he was in 234 yesterday with his one-lap pace for one of his laps, but it's about that 4-lap average in both the fast 12 and the fast 6 for the poles, so they need to keep it consistent throughout the entirety of their 4 laps in order for a chance to fight for pole position. But don't forget, getting pole is not necessarily a win there. Alex Palou got pole last year, but he didn't win it. It was Joseph Newgarden. So you've got to ideally be in the top 5 in order to stand a chance. But Marcus Ericsson, who finished second.
Newgarden's just on a 234.052 just to prove your point right.
He did. But Marcus Ericsson, who finished second last year, in the drop zone today. I'm very shocked.
Yeah, he's not great, is he, at the moment, Ericsson, having to go through.
He should be fine, though. I think he should be fine.
It's going to be Siegel who's not going to start. Unless Ray Hall really screws it up, it's going to be Siegel, who didn't even make 230 yesterday.
Whereas Ray Hall did.
Yeah.
And so did Ericsson.
And Catherine Lowe.
Yeah.
Probably hear that neck crack on the microphone there. Newgarden's last lap time was a 233.692. He's still fastest out there as well. Really is going strong. This is practice 7. Qualifying coming up shortly. Rosenquist is down pit lane. Sato is out there on the circuit as well. No, now he commits to pit lane. So Newgarden, the only one out there. The 75 as well is started now down pit road. Virtual white flag is out for Newgarden as he comes. Oh, he's backed out, so he's taken the checker flag on his full lap average as well. 2:34.052 is his fastest time on that run around. So it's getting quick. Newgarden's coming to the pit lane. No cars will be down on pit road. We'll hand over as well then as a slow lap. Newgarden, a double slow, will hand over to NBC.
That's almost a mile an hour quicker than Rosenquist's average. And for McLaughlin and Power, they got to be scratching their heads a little bit too, along with the rest of the field. That shell car just looks awesome.
So Jim Campbell just told Marty we are trying 3 different things. Does every Chevrolet team know who is trying what? Let's find out what Newgarden is doing, and I'll have some of that for my engine mapping.
Marty, the 2 just laid down the milestone, the marker for everybody to chase, frankly, the rest of the day. Outright speed, consistency, and you can hear it on the radio. Newgarden sounds perfectly happy with his car.
It was one planned run for the Team Penske cars, but I just saw Will Power head back out. Let's talk with Alexander Rossi, who seems to be the one who has the most for Team Penske. First of all, how was the heat out there today? Much warmer today. Is that going to be the key today, Alex, is just having consistent runs over 4 laps?
Yeah, it's always the key. I mean, we practiced yesterday while other people were golfing, so we'll let them think they're comfortable.
Yeah, you had to work, didn't you, while everybody else was out there golfing. So Jim Campbell just told us that the Chevy teams are trying sort of 3 different engine mappings. Did you notice any difference in that from yesterday?
From the mapping side, no, but from a strategy side, yeah, it's different than yesterday, and we're all doing something a little bit different to make sure that Team Chevy has their best foot forward when it counts. So it's a bit of an exploratory morning for I think them, I think for us on the 7 car, and yeah, we're in a really good spot. It's going to be about executing just to get into the Fast 6, which is goal number 1, and then yeah, pull our tricks out for this afternoon.
Everybody's kind of circled you guys as the one who could beat Team Penske and get up on the front row. Do you agree with that? And are you closer after this one run?
Pretty tired of listening to Will talk about how it's going to be a Penske front row lockout. So yeah, we're pretty motivated.
There you go. A lot of motivation in the Arrow McLaren camp. They want to make sure it is not a Team Penske front row here for the Indy 500.
So 11 cars have posted times in this top 12 practice session.
We have not seen Rinus VeeKay. Marty mentioned that
we were not going to run.
Yeah.
And Marty, I know you said they're still working on VeeKay's car. I wonder what wasn't fully dialed yesterday that they're taking time to massage. As
wait a minute.
Power just had a plenum.
Yeah, for Will Power, yeah. So, yeah, real quick on the VeeKay thing, and we'll get to the Will Power situation. Yeah, that's what they told Jim Campbell, is they were still going to be working on the car. They were not going to practice in this session.
Got it. He shows 6th gear right now, Kevin. I didn't notice a shift, which was reported to be one of the issues that triggered a lot of the events yesterday with plenum fires.
Or it was a theory that, hey, we stayed in the same gear and we didn't have it, was one thought.
I believe I saw that from the official Chevy comments that Nate Ryan sent us, but I could be wrong.
Yeah, Chevy said it was all happening on downshifts.
All right.
But top speed here should be a little bit of a concern for Will Power at just 2:37. And look at the times there. So this has gone, Marty, this is not going well for the 12. The first run, and the back end looks skaty there. The first run was kind of soft on speed relative to where they were yesterday. And this second run, he's got a plenum event, and he's just flat slow. So I'm not sure what to make of that, but I can't imagine Will Power's happy on handling or outright power.
Well, good chance they're doing something different than what they've done with Newgarden, so cross that one off.
Yeah, let's not do that.
Let's not do that. Let's do more of what the 2-car is doing.
But are you out of time now to make another run? Is that kind of it on tires or wanting to heat soak the car? Marty, tell us more about the fastest guy so far this morning.
Yeah, let's chat with Joseph Newgarden, and you seemed pretty pleased with that run. I would say so. Did that surprise you how quick it was after, yesterday it was a little free for you?
It's up and down. Indy is, I said this yesterday, but it's a tricky place. Sometimes it just comes to you and sometimes it fades away. So I think you gotta have a lot of respect for this facility, this track. Everybody says that, and it's so true. But it was a good run. It's different today with the heat, the track temp's up. But I would say you saw a lot of people running in heat at the end of yesterday. The track temp was pretty similar to this at 4 or 5 p.m. Yesterday. So I think people are capable of it. We just got to, try and put a solid run together. But this team has done a tremendous job all month. The shell car's fast, and we're going to try and do 2 more runs and hopefully, be in for the fight.
So when it's much warmer like than it's been the entire month, like it's going to be for qualifying later today, how do you predict how much of a handful it's going to be on those 4 laps, Joseph?
Yeah, I mean, we've got a good idea. We've been around here a long time. This team's got tons of experience, so we have a lot of, knowledge to lean on. But, some of it's feel as well. You're just kind of trying to, gauge what you've felt change-wise throughout the week, and certainly from Friday to Saturday, kind of going off of that metric. You're just going to get a kind of guess, but it's not a complete guess. It's an educated guess, and we're going to try and get it right, and I think we got the team to do it.
Jim Campbell told us a minute ago that Chevrolet is trying sort of 3 different engine mappings in this session. Did you notice a difference in what you ran here versus yesterday?
My 2-car felt pretty similar to yesterday, so I think Team Chevy's done a great job for us, and we're not done yet. We got 2 more runs to go, and I say hopefully 2 more runs to go. There's no guarantee getting in the top 6, but if we have 2 more runs, we're going to try and make them solid.
I tell you, the confidence high here in the 2 camp, and for Team Penske overall, Kev.
So it's looking good out there at the moment. Just a reminder on how this practice session works. It's a 2-hour session. The first hour, the top 12 go out. So that would be who you see on your screen now. Venus VK is not taking part, as we know. That car being tuned up and made full repairs ahead of its qualifying session later on today. The second hour is practice for the 4 cars that are in bump day. Now, usually, that session design, if we have like 6 or 7 cars that have to qualify, with only the last row shootout. That's not the case. So only 4 cars will go out. So the second hour is going to be a bit lighter on the overall run. Cars have come over. Kyle Larson's out there on the track right now. So we get half an hour left for the top 12, and then we get a total of an hour for the other 4 cars. And I think as well, Jess, this is how it should be. Just a quick practice session, then straight into qualifying. Fast 12 will go out, and then so it's the fast 12, then it's the bump day, and then it's the Firestone Fast 6 to decide the pole sitter. That's how this afternoon's going to run.
I think it's a good way to think about it, because then it locks more positions in the grid as well. So it will lock positions 12 through 7 first, and then it will lock positions 31 through 33.
That's
so
perfect.
I like that for them.
I do. TK's not happy. Tony Kanaan with that last run from Kyle Larson. He's coming to the pit lane. Santino Ferrucci, now the only driver out there on the circuit as Larson boxes. Cloud cover coming out a bit here at the Brickyard with 1 hour to go, 1.5 hours to go, but half hour in this session. Larson tunes it down. They'll refuel, go again, make sure it looks okay. Of course, you only get 1 shot with the Firestone Fast 12 and the Firestone Fast 6, just 1 each session. You can't go out again and again and again. So this could be quite an interesting little run to see who gets bumped and who doesn't. It's going to be a long time though, Jess, this session later on. Everyone gets a lap.
1 guaranteed lap for all drivers, but with the bumping day thing, then the last 10 minutes is going to be a free-for-all. Remember what we saw with Jack Harvey?
Yeah.
We thought he was going to be bumped, and then boom, he was the last person to go out, and he made it through to the Indy 500.
I think we had a little bit of a wow moment last night with Venus VK as well.
Yeah, and Brian Hunter-Ray.
Yeah, Hunter-Ray as well. That came out of nowhere. Ferrucci's boxed as well. McLaughlin is circulating in the Penske. So while we wait for him to get up to speed, we'll hand back over to NBC.
For a treat when we get to that. I mean, all the qualifying runs this afternoon, the story is going to be, can you hang on? Way more so than yesterday with the high temps.
And here is the number 3 Pennzoil Chevrolet for Team Penske. We'll watch that and listen to Marty with Will Power.
Yeah, let's chat with him. This would have been the 7th plenum event for Chevrolet. So we heard you correct on the radio. You had a plenum event?
Yeah, I had same thing. Yeah, some sort of whatever it is. Yeah.
What does it feel like behind the wheel when that's going on, Will?
Yeah, the engine just stops. It just dies for however long it, it kills your speed massively. We also had, it's just, don't know where the speed is right now. Like, sort of feeling a weird vibration as well on the front straight. So, we'll look into it. It'd be tough to make top 6 as we sit.
Concerned at all for qualifying later today? Feeling a vibration coming down the front stretch doesn't sound normal at all.
Yeah, it's a weird thing. At first I thought the engine was blowing up when I first felt it, but didn't.
Are you considering an engine change, or are you going to go with what you got?
I'll have to look at the data. Maybe it's gearbox issue. I don't know. It may not even be an issue. It may be just something vibrating, an aero piece. So got to go through a few. But we should have run yesterday. Honestly, we should have run. I wanted to, and we didn't. And that's a bad decision in my opinion, because we just wasted a run on the wrong aero bits. And now we're struggling with this stuff, so it's our fault.
There you go, Will Power. He did say he wanted to run yesterday and said that was vetoed. And they thought the conditions this morning would be more similar to what they'll be for the Fast 12 later today. He said, can we please run? And they said, no, this is what we're going with for our plan. So Power with some issues, and I'm sure a lot of work between now and qualifying for the 12 team.
Took a while, but we finally got the candid Will Power that we expect, which was this debate as to whether or not to run in the hotter conditions yesterday. I can totally understand why you wouldn't. Car's good, you're comfortable with the balance. Let's not confuse ourselves, which we've also seen. And certainly doesn't appear to be any issues for the teammate Joseph Newgarden's car. This is a stronger run from McLaughlin relative to Will Power. Not nearly as good as Newgarden's run, but I'm really surprised at how far off Power was, because I don't think it was just the plenum event. It was the vibration, it was the balance. It appeared to be just the outright speed of the car down the straightaway. That's a real surprise after such a good run yesterday.
Really is, and Power now, and just talking with Joseph Newgarden top, but Power last in his practice session. Their teammate, Scott McLaughlin, is out on the circuit now, Jess, and his first run, it's put him at a 2:32.817. His last time round actually was that speed. As out onto the track comes Rosenquist. So McLaughlin in 6th. So crucially, Penske are 1st, 6th, and effectively 11th, which is 12th in the running order. So they really are trying the strategies right now to see which setup works on the 3 cars.
I think they're doing it with most of the cars as well with the Chevrolet engine. They're deciding, right, which is the best engine mapping to use, and they will use it for all their cars in the field. And don't forget, this leaderboard you're seeing on NBC, if you're watching their TV pictures, it's the fast lap speeds, not the average 4-lap average we're going to see later on. So take this all with a pinch of salt. We have seen 234s last year. Could we see it this year? We'll have to wait and see. Scott McLaughlin, I think, has he slowed down a bit, or is he going again? It's hard to tell.
I think he's backed off, Jessica, looking at that run. So we'll have to look at Rosenquist. McLaughlin will do a cool lap, bring the engine temperature down gradually, and then build it into the pit lane. Rosenquist is out on the circuit as well, so he will be going. If anyone can help Landis out in the YouTube chat, because we've got INDYCAR Live. Which is on as well. That's how we're watching it, because Sky don't have the pictures for this practice 7
No,
session.
there's nothing where you can watch it for free.
No, I thought not. They took it away, didn't they?
Because the USA is on Peacock.
Yeah. Otherwise, I would have suggested
Whereas it's on NBC or when the fast 12 starts, so in about a few hours time.
Yeah, do we go till 10 or do we go to 11? I can't remember how long tonight is. 'Cause I think
according to what Josh T put together, thanks Josh T, it's to 11.
Oh, of course it is. 8 to 9, 9 to 10, 10 to 11. So it's still 3 hours, but of course it is till 11. No, yeah.
So basically 1 hour for the fast 12, 1 hour for bump day, 1 hour for the fast 6.
Yeah.
I think. I might be wrong.
No, you're right. That sounds about right, yeah.
What did I put in the commentators chat? Hold on.
Rosenquist on a lap time now. Oh, Kyle Kirkwood's coming out the track.
So 8:05 for the fast 12, 9:15 for the last chance qualifying, and 10:25 for the fast zone fast 6.
Not that long a fast 6 then. Okay, not too bad.
Well, it's not that long a usual qualifying, is it? In the fast 6.
That's true. That tells me if it's only for 25 minutes, because the gun goes off at 5:50, as Matthew pointed out yesterday. That's only, what, a 25-minute... Well, hang on, 35-minute session. No, hang on, no, 25-minute session, yeah.
Yeah.
That's not that long at all. Hang on.
As the Swedish fans are cheering on for Rosenquist.
That's nice to see.
So they're all on the grandstands today. I didn't see them on the grandstand yesterday.
They finally found the right positioning as well. This time next week, we will be going green for the 108th running of the Indianapolis 500. 7 days to wait. And I'll be in a full...
I can't wait.
I'm going to be in a full suit as well. It's going to boil me.
You know the dress I wore for the Indy 500 last year? I'll be wearing something similar this year as well.
Excellent. Megan, I think, is just wearing the usual. I'm trying to convince her to at least put on a little blazer.
Who is it on the Indy 500 broadcast next week? 'Cause I know Jackson is it because he's graduating.
We're rotating everyone.
Like we did last time.
Yeah, there'll be a permanent team, and then those will come on during cautions and stoppages and that lot. We've yet to sort that out. That's on Tuesday, I think we sort everything out. Anyway, all cars now down pit lane. Larson's gone back out. Down NBC. This is Power. Listen to him coming out 2 and 3.
Did cut off?
Yeah. It's the same. It's the engine just going, bah. Like it just holds the brake.
There's team radio.
It's understandable.
Let's head to NBC.
That Kyle Larson would have bailed yesterday when he heard and felt that. I mean, that sounds like a catastrophic driveline failure of some type. As we see Larson out there now. And it's just experience, right? Power's had him before, so he knows to dump the throttle and then just hammer it again, and it's likely to fix itself. So I'm very sympathetic to the rookie Kyle Larson in feeling like, man, I got to come to pit lane. That's not right, especially at 235 miles an hour with steel and concrete everywhere you look on the outside of the corner. So Larson knows now. 240? Is that right? God, that speed popped up pretty big on the straightaway. Let's see what this first lap on this qual sim looks like.
Third qualifying simulation, possibly the last. He has not finished a 4-lap run, has had to back out each time. 2:39 that time into turn 1 for Kyle Larson. Lap 1 was 2:32.845.
See what the balance looks at this time. Let's just ride here on board. Marty, he had a moment in turn 1 on the last attempt. How are they looking now?
Well, I checked in with Brian Campy, his strategist, before this run, and he said, we just missed the setup simply on those first 2 runs. So, yeah, third attempt for Kyle Larson, hoping to get the setup right. They just want to get one clean 4-lap run. Has the track all to himself. Kev, how's lap 2 look?
We've seen 239. It's flashed briefly to 240. What is lap 2? 232.224. Drops 0.6 of a mile per hour.
And turn 1 looks totally stable. This is a really nice way, presumably, if this is their last run, thank goodness Larson's able to get out and reset and feel a nice, stable race car and understand what to expect in terms of the adjustments needed to keep in front of the tire degradation. I talked to Kyle about this yesterday, and You know, he talked about just that, not reacting to the tire, but being able to predict and stay in front of the tire wear as he'll make his final run. Let's watch turn 1 here. Still looks awesome.
It does, and Larson's pushing it like absolute crazy on the back stretch as well, Jess. I think this could be a little bit of a better run from Kyle. Fingers crossed, though. This is going to go 2:32.845. Last lap time was a 2:31.527. So he's keeping that momentum and speed up.
He is, which is great to see. And the more track time he gets, the better. Because don't forget, he's a rookie in his Indy 500 field. So, and he's doing the double next week if there's no rain delay, of course. So he goes up to the line. I do not think he improves on that one. No, and he backs off. So that was his run.
2:31.527 as well. He will come down pit road. So it's currently, with 17 minutes to go in this half of the practice session, Newgarden, 2:34.052. Rossi, Rosenquist, O'Ward, then Rossi in fourth. Kirkwood, Larson, McLaughlin, Sato, Hunter-Ray, Ferrucci, Power, and Siegel as well. So if there's a rain delay, Larson putting a priority on NASCAR? No, he's putting a priority on Indy 500.
INDYCAR.
Yeah, because he's
It's the creme de la creme.
Yeah. So, look, if we look here next week...
And speaking of that...
Yeah, go on, Jess. This is today, because he'll be at the All-Star race in a couple of hours' time. So...
he takes off from Indy at 6:45, lands at Wilkesboro 7:45, 7:50 helicopter from EDC to North Wilkesboro Speedway, land at Speedway at 8 o'clock, then the All-Star race at 8 o'clock. That's going to be close. That's Eastern time, by the way.
Yeah, that is a long time to get that sorted.
If Larson misses the fast 6, he can get early flights.
Yeah, that's true. So if he does miss it, he can get out of here early and get an earlier...
He's more than likely going to make the fast 6.
Yeah, because it's also his own private jet. It's all private to get in there as fast as they can. So that's going to be quite interesting.
Yeah, so he can travel when he wants. He doesn't have to, wait at an airport or something.
No.
So
he's perfectly fine. Right, let's head back over to NBC.
He could win the pole today.
Oh, great. That's great,
Probably improbable, but certainly possible. He would become the first to win a pole at the Indianapolis 500. That also happens to be their first INDYCAR starter. We're going back to USAC, AAA sanctioning. Walt Faulkner is the name. In 1950, one of two to ever do that. You're better at French than I am, because before that, the only other, 1914.
Might need some help from Dave Burns on this, but it's Jean Chasson.
We're going to go with that, 1914.
Or Chasagny. However you prefer. Either way you slice it, Kyle Larson will get from Indianapolis Motor Speedway to North Wilkesboro faster than Scotty Scheffler got from his hotel to Valhalla yesterday.
Oh. Let's just give it over to Marty.
Oh, my gosh. Did you really go there, Townsend? You did, didn't you?
It was impressive. He made it. He made his tee time.
Only you, Townsend. Let's chat with Felix Rosenquist, second quickest so far. So you made that second run. Was the first run not as clean as you wanted? Is that why you made the second one?
Yeah, we had some traffic in and out during that run, so definitely on our first lap there we had a bit of a tow, so not 100% representative. I think we actually found some speed though. We did a run with a warm car, and I thought we had a pretty decent speed still, so it's just a game with the gear ratios right now. It's such fine margins, half mile per hour here and there makes a massive difference, so hopefully we can nail it when we need to, but the balance seemed to be, it's edgy, but it's right where we want it to be, so I think we're in good shape.
You mentioned edgy. It's hotter than it's been the entire month. How sketchy is it behind the wheel, and how much worse will it be this afternoon when it's going to be about 10 degrees warmer than right now?
It feels like you're doing half a race distance of work in 4 laps. It's just, very mentally draining. You're kind of keeping on top of the bounce. So you try to be ahead of it, if you have a bit of understeer, you don't want to wait another turn to really see that it's understeer. You want to be on top of it immediately with your tools. It's fun. I love it. I love the challenge of it, but it's definitely nerve-wracking to do 2 runs in practice with the trim level we want to do in quali. So happy we're done with it, and hopefully 2 more runs today.
Everybody wants to hand this pole to Team Chevy. Assess the chances for Honda to sneak away with a pole today.
I don't think we're counted out of it yet. We said that we can pretty much be anywhere, between think P3 and P12. Like it's so hard to know with the toes and everything in practice. I wouldn't calculate too much about what happened now, but yeah, man, I think the Penske's are hard to beat to some of the McLarens, but we can definitely, if we can split them, that would be so good. Yeah.
There you go, Felix Rosenqvist, second quickest so far. And yes, that's a car leaving behind us. That's Kyle Larson going back out for one more run. How about that, Townsend? I thought they were going to be done once they got those 4 laps in.
Yeah, me too. Looks like the 17 of Kyle Larson rolling down pit lane for yet another qual sim. 12.5 minutes to go in this 1 hour for the top 12 shootout participants.
He sounded a little annoyed on Thursday by not getting more track time. He's been getting quite a bit of it the last 2 days. And spirits are a little higher in the Arrow McLaren camp now. They had a challenging day yesterday with a lot of things going on.
You know, Larson, he told me the same thing, and he was frustrated about not getting the race run practice. And I really admire how focused he is on the ultimate prize here at Indy. Oh, that's just an out and in to probably cool the car down. Get the engine cooled down maybe before they put it away or before they attempt another run. But
just a cool down run for Kyle Larson, that's it.
And is they're going to park it?
In. Yep, they're going to park it. So yeah, it's really to cool the engine down, and that's the only reason he went back out. Clean track, so why not, right, Townsend?
You know, but Marty, the thing about the qual sims is that even though you're not in traffic and you're running by yourself, it has big value for Larson for next weekend on Sunday, because it's another chance to really learn the controls inside the cockpit in a highly sensitive setting, right? In qualifying trim, every roll bar change, every weight jacker change in clean air is that much more sensitive, and you can feel it because you don't have any dirty air. And the reason I think that's really important for Larson is it helps him understand just fundamentally what the controls actually do and how they affect the car in a pure environment. And it just makes him that much more crisp and the ability to be proactive next Sunday. This is a guy we're going to be watching next weekend. Santino Ferrucci always gets us excited, especially at Indianapolis. In fact, of the drivers who have competed in the modern era with 5 Indy 500 starts or more, nobody has a better average finish than Santino Ferrucci. Better than Dan Weldon, better than Carlos Munoz, and better than the great Helio Castroneves. Ferrucci's average finish in the greatest spectacle in racing is 6th. Marty?
T-Bell, I checked in with Larry Foyt before this practice session, and I asked him what the goal was. He said 3 runs. He said, but if I can get a 4th run, we're going to take it. Guess what? Clean track, time left on the clock. They're going to get that 4th run.
Up until last year, Santino Ferrucci had never started anywhere near the front. He started 4th last year, a couple of mid-packs, a couple of 23rd place starts. Do they have enough to contend for pole today? If Ferrucci can win the pole, he would join James Hinchcliffe as the only driver since '97 where their first career IndyCar pole was for the Indianapolis 500.
Ferrucci dumps the throttle pretty heavy there on the backstretch.
We saw it. Just give us 2 cool down laps, please.
I wonder if when they say we saw it, if that's a plenum event. Could become a national holiday, Kev.
It's kept social media creators quite busy the last couple of days.
Yeah, just looking at the timing stand here with AJ Foyt, Larry Foyt, and the rest of the team crew, they look a little perplexed at what they're all seeing on the monitors from the telemetry.
And they haven't put a 4-lap run together in qualifying simulation. Only 8 minutes remaining in this session for those in the Fast 12. Marty.
Let's chat with Kyle Larson, who had a run here in the warm conditions this morning. And did you notice a difference in how much warmer it was? Because there were 2 aborted runs. Brian Campy said we just didn't have the setup right.
Yeah, I think the first one we aborted was just because we were kind of close in traffic there and wasn't going to get a real read on things. And then the second one, yeah, I just I don't know. I feel like in these cars, like whenever I get tight or understeer and add more wheel than I would want to, it gets to a point where it finally like grabs and then, you know, wants to snap. So that was that moment. And then, yeah, we went out again and put together a complete run. I just had a good vibration, so I couldn't really see that well that time, so that made things a little bit sketchy, but yeah, good to run through some things there and then go talk about it a little bit and see if we can get a little bit faster and more comfortable.
You've had a lot of shots so far at doing the 4-lap run, Kyle. If you could compare your nerves to the first time you did it to how you are now, are the nerves much better? Are you comfortable with these 4-lap runs?
Honestly, I don't know. I feel equal to the first time. I think, you know, I know what to expect more now, but still, like the first time, you know, you do your little warm-up deal, and then when you turn the boost up or the mapping down the backstretch, like that first time through turn 3, every time is fastest feeling because you're kind of accelerating still through the corner. And then, yeah, then it gets okay. I feel like after you get past the first lap and a half, you kind of settle in, but no doubt it's fast. But like you have so much grip that I think that takes a little bit of the sensation away from it feeling like you're going 240 miles an hour or whatever. So, but regardless, I think, you know, if you're ever to crash, that's when you realize how fast you're going. So, no, it's fun. I enjoy it. I think I was sitting in the car too. And I was like, man, typically you just like pump your mind up to go make one run of one lap. And this is like, you know, you make multiple attempts at it and then like, oh great, you make fast 12. Now you got to go spend a whole nother day living on the edge. So that part's not fun. I would like to just qualify and once and be done with it. But yeah, you just, and like you're just trying to get more speed out of it each time. So, and then the conditions are hotter. So like, in a way that makes you more nervous, but it's fun. I enjoy it. So hopefully just get through the rest of the day smooth, and it would be pretty neat to make the fast 6, but if we can just get a clean run in today, I'd be happy with that.
I'm curious how you've managed your time the last couple of days. A, how much have you kept up with what's going on in North Wilkesboro, which is nothing because it's been raining? How much have you talked to the team there in Cliff Daniels? And then 2, are you up to date on the minute by minute of the day, or do you not really want to know the details? Just when I need to go, I'm going to go.
Well, I mean, I know if I don't make the fast 6, it's all pretty simple. But yeah, I have kept up with things pretty closely. I feel like I'm going to probably give Kevin a call here when I get some free time. And I don't know how the broadcast schedule lines up, but I need to talk to him still. But I met with our team. I talked to Cliff for a while after practice, and then we all got together this morning to do kind of my pre-event meeting. So, you know, running through more practice stuff, and then, you know, my pit road stuff, trying to get familiar with all that because I don't really have any runs at it before we get out there in the race. So, yeah, the option tire, all that sounds interesting, and the strategy behind that and what people might do could be interesting. But yeah, it should be fun. I actually look forward to the challenge of having 0 laps there and trying to figure it out quickly. So should be a good time.
You figured it out pretty well last year. Real quick, while we have a second, there's no cars on the track. If you could say the IndyCar is comparable to any car you've been in your entire life in terms of a race car, is there one you can say it's kind of like this maybe?
I would like, for qualifying, I would sort of compare that edginess, you know, to like maybe qualifying at Texas, you know, 3 and 4. Like you're wide open, but you're kind of on the like verge of like you could be more confident and comfortable if you were to breathe it a little bit, but you know that's slow. So you're just kind of on the edge a little bit. I would say Texas is still a little bit sketchier than this feels, just because it's got bumps and stuff through 3 and 4, and 1 and 2 you have to lift. You can't run through there wide open, so you're trying to like push that limit even more. But yeah, I would compare it mostly to that. Race running, I don't know. I'm trying to think of anything. I mean, in a way, it's similar to running a cup car here at Indy, you know, just with all the accordion and like trying to manage your gap in 1 and 3 to build a run, and 2 and 4, and you get so tight that it's way more the IndyCar. But the Cup car, from what I remember being, you would get tight in traffic, which the next-gen car, when we come back here, will be very much tighter than the old car was in traffic. So, it's Indy, so it's flat and similar in both. You're just going way faster in this thing.
We appreciate the time, Kyle.
Thanks.
All right, Kyle's going to go be busy today, Townsend. What I found fascinating about that conversation is how much he's kept up with at North Wilkesboro. He's leaving from here not only to go talk to Brian Campy and the team and kind of unpack what happened in their 2 4-lap run, or their 1 4-lap run, but also to go meet with Cliff Daniels and the Cup team to find out what's in store for him tonight in the All-Star race in North Wilkesboro.
Yeah, there's not a more pure racer, I think, out there right now. I mean, this guy's all about one thing, which is driving race cars, and as often as he can and as competitively as he can. And going down there, Marty, to pit lane yesterday during a break and spending a little time around Kyle and Jeff Gordon. The other thing that I think sometimes gets lost on us is just the amount of attention and distraction and kind of the circus that surrounds you. It reminds me of when Alonso came. So you're already a rookie at the track. You've never raced an IndyCar before. You're trying to digest all of this new information. And then on top of that, you have all of the sort of obvious and expected attention that comes with it. And what I find remarkable about the best drivers in the world, like Alonso, like a Kyle Larson, is their ability to compartmentalize the moment and stay laser focused on what really matters. And it's a tall task, but Larson doing an incredible job so far.
Danica Patrick will join us next weekend, and I think she will be able to speak to that. It reminds me of her rookie season and all the hype and national attention outside of our IndyCar community.
Frankly, her whole career, Marty. I mean, you've seen it among the NASCAR stars, the IndyCar stars, Formula One drivers coming here. I mean, do you agree that the best are just able to lock in?
Sure, and I think Kyle Larson is cementing his spot as a generational talent. I mean, if you had any questions, just the fact that he's, in the Fast 12, in my opinion, is showing how good he is, and I think everyone up and down pit road is echoing that. The one crystallizing moment for me, Townsend, when you talk about how big this is, when Jeff Gordon had his camera out, got his phone out, and he wanted to video that checkered flag for Kyle Larson. He knows how big this moment is, but that's Jeff Gordon, 4-time Cup champion. He's done everything in motorsports. He never got this moment, so he's certainly living vicariously through Kyle Larson, but he wanted to capture the moment. That shows you how big this moment is for Kyle Larson and everyone at Hendrick Motorsports.
So now it's time to find some speed. More speed, just to make the greatest spectacle in racing. Those 12 or 11 that we saw preparing for the Firestone Fast 12. They know they're in the show. They know they're in the front 4 rows. There are 4 going for 3. One of these drivers and teams is frankly going to be crushed coming up in a little while. Marcus Ericsson, who won this race 2 years ago, thought he had it won last year, is shockingly in the mix. A crash late in the week set that up. Similar, Nolan Siegel, not only is he 19 and a rookie, but he also had a crash. Catherine Legg, teammate, Dale Coyne Racing. And deja vu all over again for Graham Rahal. Same position he was in this time last year.
Everybody's story a little bit different here for the LCQ. For this guy, Marcus Ericsson, it's trying to figure out, I think, for the team, where can they claw back some of the speed that they had with their primary car before the crash? What can we do at the racetrack? You hear the drivers talk all the time about how the Indy 500 car is a 6-month build process, a year-round development process. You can build 1, or in Andretti's case, 4, but this backup 5th car so far has shown none of that speed as the primary. So with another night in Gasoline Alley, have they been able to find anything?
It's last chance practice then. The 4 that go out, Siegel and Ericsson already out there circulating. They want to know, Jess, is it enough? Is it fast enough? That's the big question. But for Nolan Siegel, the big thing is he faster than 230 mile an hour with all the work they did yesterday? Before you answer, let's hear from Antonio Ferrucci.
See, we're just really fighting a few things here. Balance is one of them. It's practice. You got to look at it still as practice. You know, I'm not fully comfortable. Front's just searching all over the place. Made some good strides to it. And obviously, we're doing a lot of work with Chevrolet to kind of fix some of the issues that we saw yesterday. We're getting there. We for some reason just don't have the oomph out of 2 when we go to start the lap that we really want. So, and we're gonna look into why that is, whether it's our side or whatnot. So, but hard to tell. Like I said, we'll figure it out.
Since it's so much hotter today, could it be heat related, Santino, at all, and more handling than anything else?
Yeah, the heat plays a big part into it. You know, obviously we're still trying to understand what's what. I think we're a little bit better when the track temp's closer to 110. You're going to see close to 130 today with the 85 to 87 degrees track temp when we go back out here at 3 o'clock or whenever it is it's coming up. But yeah, it's going to be hot and sticky.
You've got some things to do and some work to do. Can you lean into that Penske relationship at all and say, hey, what did Joseph Newgarden had, who clearly was very quick?
No, I mean, we're all running our own setups here, and everybody's a little different across the board. I mean, it's kind of driver preference and driver comfort. We're not going to take like a huge swing and just be like, oh, let's throw the kitchen sink at it for fast 12. I mean, man, we're in the show. We're having this problem with the race car as well, so we're going to see if we can make an educated guess at it. And, dude, if we get the front hooked up, we're going to be really good.
There you go, Santino Ferrucci going to head back in. Townsend was a very long...
So, in, and Nolan Siegel, by the way, has done a 2:29.337. So unfortunately, Jess, he's still not fast enough to get over that 230 barrier he's been waiting on the last couple of days. It's getting slower and slower, and there is a real chance that even though he is a permanent driver, he's going to be bumped. And this is why we don't want the charter system, to where if you are a permanent driver, you do get automatic entry to the 500 because he's going to be bumped.
I don't want a charter system, really, because Siegel is the only driver to not being able to get through with a 230 plus. Everyone else has made it through with a 230, so why can't he? And he had a massive crash in practice 5 on the 17th. That was Friday. No, that wasn't Friday, was it?
Yes, it was. It was Friday. Yeah, Friday afternoon.
Yeah, that was Friday. And that looked very nasty, but luckily he was okay.
Just got it in.
Yeah, he's got a lot of work to do.
And it didn't do that much damage to the car either. Yes, he went upside down, but there was only the roll hoop damage and a bit of suspension. The engine was okay, so it shouldn't have been this much, but he's just now got it to a 2:29.337. Kyle Larson signing everybody's autograph as he heads down the back of Gasoline Alley down towards where the old Formula One paddock was for this sort of sports series. And Richard says, Larson is such a great race car driver, I don't think it matters where he starts. Well, we're going to see later if he can get into the Firestone Fast 6. He's in the Fast 12. If he gets to the Fast 6, he'll be in a shot. How's Takuma Sato? Sato he's in P8 at the moment on a 2:32.715. So Sato's got good.
Last 12 in practice at the moment. Their practice is done.
Yeah. So in this session, it's Ericsson, Siegel, Ray Hall, and Catherine Legg. They're the 4 that get out, and only 3 qualify on the last rope. So someone will be bumped. And I better take that flag down before it. Thing is, you'll see me do it live.
Before it crashes on you, mid-broadcast.
Yeah, and because I just saw it was getting low, and it's connected to everything else, so I don't want to.
Also, it's not put it in the barn early. It's because it's the Fast 12 have done their practice session for 1 hour. Then it's now the last chance qualifying practice where people who are 31 to 34 get their practice session now.
Just fold this
and
up.
as you can see, if you're watching on TV pictures, there's a Nolan Siegel motivation wall, which I can barely read what it says, but he's going to need a lot of motivation today to do well in the last chance qualifying, which takes place an hour after the Fast 12 qualifying. So And just to let you know, Josh, Josh T will be on for the last 20 minutes-ish.
Oh, lovely.
Of practice.
Oh, practice. Oh, okay.
I said practice ends at 7, and he said you'll be around for the last 20 minutes. I assume that's for last bit of practice. I don't know. That's what he said in chat.
We shall find out. Excellent. There we go. You see me take down the commentary box live, everybody. See what I mean? That's how much work it takes.
Yeah. Gangster Play said he's going to need rocket fuel to get into the show. To be honest, it's not looking good. Yeah, I agree. It's not looking good for Seagull.
No, it's not. And they're adjusting now. Heat's on the car. It's not looking too great. They do fast 6 after fast 12. No, so it's fast 12 first. Then we go to the bump day, the last row shootout. Then it's the Firestone fast 6 to give the guys chance to cool the cars down. So it's going to be fast 12, bump day shootout, and then bang, cross it.
Because how are they going to do fast 6 before fast 12?
This was a moment and a near brush from the wall for Graham Rahal on the last lap around. Yes, there you go. It goes fast 12, last chance, qualify fast 6.
Gangster.
Yeah, that's it. That's the one. But yeah, nearly into the wall.
And it's one run each for fast 6.
Yeah.
At least.
Golden shot of who gets it. Well, judging by the time when the gun go off, it'll be 1 lap each for the fast 6. I'm presuming it's 1 lap each for the fast 12 as well.
I've got a question.
Yeah.
Before we get to the fast 12, who's your pick a pole?
Oh, Willpower. I know he's qualified badly there, but he was fast yesterday, and he's faster than what Newgarden had. So I'm gonna
go with Newgarden.
Oh, okay. I think it will be a Penske 1, 2, 3 though.
I think it'll be a Penske pole, yeah.
And then again, look at the McLarens. Rossi's a shout as well after yesterday, but I think the way they've gone, it's definitely going to be a. I'm saying Power. You're saying Newgarden. We'll get everyone else's thoughts in the chat. Let us know in the comments who do you think it's going to be as we see Graham Rahal through turn 2 now. Just having a little bit of a
we'll ask Josh T when he gets him.
Yes. You can probably tell my voice is going up and down. That's because it's like sometimes it's okay, then you'll cough and it changes. Hello to Nuke Shot Media. Gangster Plays as well. Yeah, McLaughlin for Nuke Shot Media is the pick. Yeah, so all 3 Penske.
I nearly picked that.
Yeah. If Scotty Mack gets it, Australia's going to go nuts for the V8 Supercars.
Oh, yes, this was the bump day last year, Josh, where we saw Graham Rahal getting knocked out by Jack Harvey.
If anyone jumps at me and says that, well, Scotty Mack's from New Zealand, I know. Australia was where he raced in the Supercars as well. There's Rahal, as you say, last year getting bumped out. I don't think we'll see that.
On the anniversary of Bobby Rahal.
Yeah. I don't think we'll see that, Jess. I really don't. I think, honestly, we're going to see
I think Graham Rahal will be fine.
Yeah. It's Seagull is not going to make it. We all know it. It would have to be someone hitting the wall in order for them not to qualify. That's what I'm thinking.
Rahal, 229.4.
Okay, so maybe it is a bit closer than we thought. Because Seagull's are 229.3, Rahal's 229.4. Why can't that car now all of a sudden not make it beyond 230? Okay. Sato's picked for the race win, says Nuke Shot Media. That's interesting, yeah. That's worrying me if Rahal can't even get to a 230 on this track layout.
3 and 4.
It's fine, but it's skaty in 3 and 4.
Okay, 2's a little under steer, but...
Rahal, I think, starts to make so many excuses. I think because there's people like Fittipaldi, he's made it through. Stingray Rob, he's made it through. VK, he's made it through after us thinking that he'll be bumped. We were talking about it last night, weren't we, Josh? And no excuse for Rahal. He should have been better than this.
Yellow is out for track inspection, I understand, is the reason.
Okie doke.
Yeah, so...
Nathan, he thinks Newgarden, so he agrees with me.
Yeah, that could be. Why they've thrown... Is Rahal got a problem? Yeah, look, caution's out to throw him out, so why...
Much drag in the car.
Yeah, just double checking that. Yeah, caution's out for track inspection. So watch along, Joby, don't you know? Oh, it's a debris. It's
yeah, it's debris. They got to get rid of that on the track.
It looks like a carbon fibre winglet that's just been blown off the side of the circuit there, and it's on the racing line on the back stretch towards turn 3, inside line at 3 as well, in the braking zone. Well,
Luckily, no one's on the track.
Yeah.
So I just hit my elbow. Ow.
Well, yellow's out. All cars back to pit road. Let's head it down to NBC. Plank. Yeah, it looks like it as well.
And you heard that from the timing stand. They don't know what's going on either. And Graham just is such a painful deja vu moment. He's been through this before. He just can't quite believe, how does this happen again?
So, James Hinchcliffe was kind enough to explain the scenario for us a couple of times for the Saturday qualifying, where 13 through 30 are locked in, and we get to where we are today with a fast 12 shootout and the last row shootout as well. Hinch explains the scenarios today.
Well, the drivers are now in 3 different situations after Saturday's Indianapolis 500 qualifying. You're locked into positions 13 through 30. You're done. No more qualifying today. You're in positions 1 through 12, or you're in positions 31 and higher. Welcome to Sunday of PPG Presents Armed Forces Qualifying. The top 12 are up first. If you're in it, you're obviously fast, but now it's time to go even faster and go for another stressful 4-lap qualifying attempt. 1 attempt for each car, after which positions 7 through 12 are locked in. 1 to 6, they move on to the Firestone Fast 6. Next up, we have last chance qualifying for those positions 31 and higher after Saturday. You are fighting, scratching for whatever it takes just to get into the field at all. And if you don't, you go home. It's off the charts drama. This can make or break years or careers. Finally, it's time for the Firestone Fast 6 pole shootout. The 6 fastest drivers get 1 run each to go to the pole and lead the field to green in the greatest spectacle in racing. A ton of action lined up in one weekend. It is a must-watch, as is the 108th running of the Indianapolis 500 presented by Gamebridge on Sunday, May 26th.
It's going to be great. 3 o'clock this afternoon on NBC, right here on Peacock as well. Top 12 from 12th fastest yesterday through the fastest yesterday. So you start with Ryan Hunter-Reay, you finish with Will Power, who was quickest yesterday. Then it's the last chance qualifying. Multiple attempts for that session, 4 going for 3 spots. And then those that were in the 12 that were among the 6 get 1 more from 6th fastest through 1st. How important is it, Townsend? Do you want to be fastest or close to it to go latest in the day? That last run should happen around 5:45.
Very important, especially with the temperatures that we're seeing today. We're at 125 track temp. We expect that to continue to rise. And that means that once you get to, you know, the final 30 minutes of the day for that fast 6 shootout for pole, the track temp should start to drop, and then you factor in maybe the potential for some cloud cover as well. But I don't think that you want to get too carried away with downforce, because a small mistake can lead to a big fall off of performance. We saw that already this morning when the Fast 12 practiced. How about the 51 of Catherine Legg, the 43-year-old from England? 3 previous starts, best finish only of 22nd, but you wouldn't think that by the way she hung on to her race car yesterday. Drifted high in turn 4, got into the wall, but never lifted to come across the line and finish the lap. Her car seems pretty fast. I think she should feel pretty comfortable about the speed down the straightaways, the handling, and the adjustments as the balance goes away. We'll take a look at it again, that turn 4 clip, and pretty good shot to the right rear, but it didn't phase her one bit.
That seemed like more than a kiss to me. That was a good slap.
It wasn't a flop.
How do you stay in that?
Desire. And your desire overpowers your fear, can overpower any, you know, frankly, anything, any self-preservation instinct to make sure you're in the biggest race of your life. She's been here before. She's been in this situation before last year with her teammate Graham Rahal. She made the show. Graham didn't in qualifying, so she knows the drama. And frankly, I think since the beginning of practice, she's probably expected that they're going to have to deal with some drama today on Sunday, because the outright speed probably hasn't been what she had hoped maybe a month ago before she showed up in Indianapolis. But she's settled into the reality here, and I think she's up for the task.
Through turn 4, we'll keep an eye on the first lap for Catherine Legg. And also look at top speeds. And that lap for Legg, pretty solid, 2:30.9. And that is the fastest of those we've seen over one lap that are going to be in the last row shootout. As you look at the Rahal, Letterman, Lanigan crew searching, trying to find anything, to find more for Graham Rahal, to not be in the same situation that they were in a year ago. It started with the Indy Road to Recovery, and it was not supposed to be in question this year, and here it is again.
And her old teammate, Graham Rahal, is going to have something to think about as Catherine Legg goes 2:31.3 on that last lap, and that is well ahead of Siegel and Rahal.
That's an outstanding lap time from Catherine. Like, hands down, Jess, that is right up there. That's the speed we knew she had in the bag, and this is just getting quicker and quicker. 2:31.304.
Don't forget, she's the fastest female at all in the Indy 500 as well.
Out of turn 4.
So this is very impressive. I think, like I said, she should be absolutely fine, but you can't afford to become complacent around this track.
2:31.035 last lap time, so still in the 2:31s. This is keeping her average up to be a 2:30 across the practice qualifying sim here. This is very good. So I've got a feeling that she will be the top qualifier, whoever is on the last row. I don't even think Ericsson's up there. Ericsson's on a 2:30.877 is his fastest lap time. And Catherine's on a 2:31 for the first time this weekend.
Wow.
Whatever they've done to that car is unbelievable for Dale Coyne Racing. And the Honda engine, it's looking strong. The Elf car, eyes, lips and face. The first beautician livery in the Indy 500 history. And she ends on a 2:30.783, 2:31.304 is her fastest. Jess, that would have put her 30th overall in the average speed. She's fast. She's quick.
Oh, no.
Would have put her in, though, top. So she would have been in.
I know, but why could she have done it yesterday?
I know. That time is fast enough to put her in to the show yesterday. She didn't do it yesterday.
Yeah, but as long as she does it today, she's fine. So, no offense, I don't think Siegel could do it, and I don't think Rahal could do it. Ericsson, maybe?
He's on the list, isn't he? Let's hear from TK Tony Kanaan as Marcus Ericsson's on the circuit.
Called.
And he's boxed.
We're in the bus lot, and he was just asking for an advice, and which I would do to anybody. We're not talking about setup sheets, or I think he needed a little bit of a support. It's his first year here. They're struggling. It's bump day. We talked, and I said, let me see if my boss, Gavin and Zach, will allow for me to be here. There is no setup involved. Obviously, there is no Chevys to get bumped. Chevy did an awesome job to put all the cars in there. So there's more here for a moral support. I'm not getting involved on setups or anything else. He is running for United Sports, which is Zach's team in Le Mans, so he's part of the family. And me just being here gives him a little bit of an extra boost of confidence. Obviously, I worked with Don, his engineer, back in 98. Nola wasn't even born yet. And so hopefully we'll be able to at least get him into the show. He's a future champion. He's coming from our leather series. He's leading the championship in Indy Lights. I think he's a phenomenal driver. So if we can give it back to racing without compromising a lot of the things that we have politically, that's what I'm here for. It was my decision. I've asked, obviously, I work for Aero McLaren. They say it's not conflicting with what I have to do with Kyle. They're in a separate session. So I'm not saying I'm going to fix anything, but hopefully I make him feel better. I know how much I felt when Dario was on my stand, just looking at him and just actually nodding his head saying, no, what you're saying is right. So, by the way, it's Dario's birthday today, so happy birthday, old man. But, yeah, that's what I'm here for. I don't have a radio. I'm not getting involved in setups. I'm not telling them springs or anything. It's just more of a see if the kid's in the right place, in the right frame of mind, and just trying to guide him a little bit.
Yeah, I want to make that clear. You're not even wearing a radio, and you're just kind of talking to him when he's available to you. What kind of questions did he ask, and what sort of advice did you give last night and this morning?
Well, Marty, basically, when you get to a hole like this, which I've been before, you doubt yourself. You second question things, and that happens with engineers, drivers. I mean, it's this place. So all I'm here for is like, trust yourself, and I'll tell you the truth. If you're confused, if you're not confident, I think he needs to build up a bit after the crash. And I told him that, and it's fine. It's not something that is abnormal. I said, we all done the same thing. We can sit here and pretend that we're the bravest guys in the world, which we are, but it will take 2-3 runs to get the confidence back. When you have a bad car, everything is up for question. So I'm here to try to filter those and say, no, I've been there, this is what it is. And I think it's comforting when somebody just sides with you, but you have the credibility for somebody to trust that. So I don't need a radio. I'm not even talking to him during the session. I talk to Don the things that I see, and hopefully we'll put the kid on the show. One thing I told his dad and his mom, I said, look, the only positive thing about this right now, he's 19 and he's going to go through this. After this, it's going to be a piece of cake. So.
Can you compare sort of the mood in your day job camp at Arrow McLaren, where you guys are going to run for the pole later today, when you come down here for a team that's fighting for their life just to make the show, Tony?
It's crazy how I can experience both ends of happiness and frustrations and disappointment in the same day. That was another one where I didn't think I was going to do it, but yeah, I mean, it's a switch, right? I go there, we're all happy and thinking what we need to do to be on the point. Here, they're fighting for their lives to survive, because there's a kid that could have probably the worst day of his life in his career not qualifying for this race. So keeps me humble, keeps me sometimes glad that I retired. I'm not in either position, but yeah, it's tough, man. You know, at the end of the day, we're all human beings. This is a competition, but I've always been extremely friendly to people, and then I think I'm a good person. I like to think I'm a good person, so I always feel for anybody that is going to be out. You know, it's 4 guys today and a gal. Somebody's going to go home, and it's never nice to see that. So hopefully, I don't know, can give him a little push, and I'll be a happier person at the end of the day.
There you go. Coach Tony Kanaan here, hanging out on Nolan Siegel's timing stand. Townsend, I'd love your take on this, but, you know, my takeaway, racing is always a family, number one. And number two, good on Tony Kanaan to say, yeah, I want to help you out, because I'm sure at some point along his way and in his career, Townsend, somebody helped Tony Kanaan out. Now he's paying the favor forward.
And I think that's just it, Marty. That's super cool of TK to come down there, and I know that Tony hasn't forgotten what life was like for him at 19 years old, living in the storage room upstairs, I think, of one of the junior teams he was racing for, because he didn't have 2 nickels to rub together. I know the feeling. I've been there, and I'm sure Nolan Siegel will be incredibly grateful for, if nothing else, just the support and the brotherhood that exists between Indy 500 drivers, both current, former, and it's a strand that I think is common at Indianapolis, maybe more so than any other sport, where the legends of this place, Rick Mears, Arie Luyendyk, AJ Foyt, they can all relate. They can connect to the unique experience of what it means to be a racer at Indianapolis, and the crew at Dale Coyne going hard at work, making pretty dramatic adjustments, it looks like, to the front end.
All in the hopes of participating in Memorial Day weekend, in the biggest race in the world, the entire weekend. One of the best times on the racing calendar, and it all starts with Pro Motocross, part of the SMX World Championship. The best dirt bike racers head to Paula, California for the first race of the outdoor season. And 20-year-old Australian phenom Jet Lawrence, fresh off his Supercross title win, looks to extend his undefeated streak Townsend hit 22-0 last summer. It starts May 25th, 4 p.m. Eastern on Peacock.
Awesome. Go to the outdoors. Whole new set of challenges over the Supercross schedule as these fans are getting ready. Staying hydrated, Kev, for what's going to be a big afternoon of excitement. So glad to be here.
Shade is good to find today. It is warm. All right, let's look at the difference here. And you see, this is the overall, includes the Fast 12 times from today. But let's look at Ray Hall and
as a driver, these are slightly uncomfortable moments because Nolan Siegel's sitting there in the cockpit and he's watching these three mechanics having a little bit of a debate as the suspension is pulled apart, and now they're in a crunch to get it back together, and that can be a little disconcerting. But Marty, yesterday, Catherine had a pretty disconcerting moment in her run, and it didn't phase her that much, and she looks pretty happy right now. Tell us more.
Townsend, on a day when everybody's struggling with the heat, Catherine Legg picked a pretty good time to have her best run in the month of May. So it's warm, but that didn't seem to phase you guys. Would you agree? Mitch Davis told me best run of the month. Do you agree with that?
I think it was pretty close, honestly. Car feels decent. We still got some work to do, but our main focus right now is put it in the show, and then we can work on our race car tomorrow and hopefully on carb day as well.
Catherine, you've been through this before. You survived it last year. Is there anything you take away from past experiences, knowing what this day is like here, trying to make it into the show?
Well, you know, I got it in the show on Saturday last year, so
that's true.
So it was kind of a much more relaxing Sunday. This is quite a stressful Sunday, but I have been here before in my first year here, actually. When we had the Lotus engines, do you remember those? That was crazy times, crazy times. But, you know, all we can do is try and keep focused, keep our head down, and do the job that we came here to do. Like, we're not reinventing the wheel. The engineers have got it from a standpoint of the setup and everything else, and all I have to do is, you know, keep my cool, use my tools, and do 4 consistent laps.
Knowing the pressure that's coming later today and what's on those 4 laps, what will you do between now and then to sort of relax and take your mind off of it?
I mean, I'm going to sit with the engineers, see whether there's anything else that we can see that's worth doing at all, but I suspect we probably know what we've got right now. It's going to get a bit hotter. Maybe they tickle the COP a little bit, but I think I'll probably just go get some lunch and try and not think about it, scroll Instagram or something like that.
There you go. Does scrolling Instagram, Townsend, work to keep your mind off what's coming later today? Thanks, Catherine.
Oh, I've been there. You just twiddle your thumbs and try not to think too much because it looks like it's in a pretty good window for Catherine Legg right now. How about Marcus Ericsson, 230.7. So better than Ray Hall and Siegel. Not quite what Catherine Legg just produced, but comfortably quick enough right now, if this counted, which it doesn't, to make the Indy 500. But certainly, Kevin, nowhere near where Marcus Ericsson A winner here at Indy, he never thought he'd be in this situation.
Let's think about this for Marcus Ericsson and also for Graham Rahal. They will have a teammate that goes out before them in the first round of the Fast 12. So Ericsson can look at what Kyle Kirkwood is doing. He can also look at what Felix Rosenqvist is doing, while Takuma Sato will have run to potentially help Graham Rahal.
Also important to note that Andretti Global is so experienced here at the Speedway, so even if the car speed is not what they want at the end of the straightaways, they will absolutely be calculating the average, and I think they'll be taking very little, if any, risk that would jeopardize staying flat for 4 laps, because that's the goal right now, is just don't put yourself in a situation where you have to put, kind of dance on the tip of the needle too much, and you see that right now. I think that's exactly what they're practicing, is just easy flat, and they should be good enough.
3 pretty consistent laps for Marcus Ericsson, and remember, the last row shootout is not just one and done. So there is a chance. Now, the engine won't be cooled to the desired temp, so you really would like to get it right the first time, but at least there is another opportunity if you see somebody else has really found something more.
See what lap 4 looks like. 230.3, so that's solid.
Yeah, and Jess, looking at that, that's actually quite a decent attempt there for Ericsson, but a 230.877. Catherine Leck's still faster. That gives me hope that she's going to make it. But looking at Ray Hall and Siegel, it looks like they are the 2 that could face bump day in around about an hour and 45 minutes for them.
And I'm going to miss them.
Yes. You'll see it, though.
So I'm in a meeting.
One hub, honestly.
Yeah, I'm gonna have it on in the background now on my right screen. I'm gonna watch it. So if people hear me go in the background, it's probably that. But yeah, I think going on to your point, actually, Ericsson shouldn't be in this position. He won the Indy 500 in 2022. He got second in 2023. What is it with this car that's not working for Marcus Ericsson? I don't know.
They should have rebit. They had practice time since the crash a few days ago. It wasn't a different chassis. It's the same chassis. So there shouldn't really be that much lag. So they never got a lap in at this amount of time. So it's just a big of a problem coming through. Are they going to show the race? We are. We're commentating on the race here as well. I wonder what the exact differences are between normal and back
whole
chassis.
Team.
Yeah, whole team is going to be here for that 500. And then, of course, some of the team here for the Coca-Cola 600. We're going back-to-back with that one coming into it. But
I'm going to watch that because it's bank holiday the next day, so I won't be at work.
Yeah, so you'll be there. Why only 15 drivers doing lap times? Because we've had the fast 12 and then the 4 drivers that are left. As we see the accident again for Ericsson on free practice 4 on the 16th. So on the Thursday session, the first real day of full running, he put it in the wall. And it hit 3 times. Exit at turn 4, inside at 4, and then
it hit like the bollard as
well.
Yeah,
the barrier bollard on the entrance to the pit lane. This gets worse and
DK
worse.
crashed, and he pulled off a good lap to get to the fast 12.
Yeah, and then just got in. Yeah, so don't know what's going on with Ericsson, but all the cars back in. There's time enough for 2 more runs out there from any other driver. Otherwise, we're going to run out the clock here in practice. Let's head back over to NBC because they've got all the pit reports and news.
It's less than those that went out at 12:15.
We just talked to Will Power. We've seen the run from Scott McLaughlin. Not much different than it was yesterday, a little bit warmer. Those cars got slower all of a sudden overnight. And the reason I have to smirk a little bit as Ricardo Nault looks on for Graham Rahal is this is Indianapolis, and talk about the home of racing curveballs. This place can surprise you, disappoint you, thrill you. How about Ryan Hunter-Reay yesterday? He said, I didn't think we'd be that fast. That came out of nowhere. So much can change. How many hours do we have until they will run again? Say 2.5? See, it's 1:30 local right now.
So
last chance qualifying will start at 4:05, 4:15. Yeah. So, yeah, anything's possible. but things looking fairly under control at this moment for Ericsson and the 28 crew.
And we really shouldn't see track temps start to go down again until close to 5 o'clock, right?
Yeah, I would say that 5:30 window. Graham's going to rerun. Sticker Firestone's back on the car. Marcus Ericsson content for now to climb out.
All right, Marty, what are they trying now for the United Rentals Honda?
Yeah, I just talked to Ricardo Nault, and his point is there's not much we can do here on pit road, Townsend, and you know that, right? And I asked him, I said, what can you do when the engine is quote-unquote not pulling as Graham fires up, about to go out for another run here? And he said, great question. We don't know what we can do. He said, we changed all the things that we thought would make that better in the garage overnight, but talk about the difference, Townsend, of what they can do here on pit road in just a couple of minutes versus what they can do back in the garage. Very limited what they can do here on pit road. Back in the garage, they can change a lot of stuff.
Yeah, you don't have a setup pad out there on pit road, and that's where it gets a little dicey, like the changes we saw with the 18 camber changes, maybe toe changes. You don't really have the laboratory environment like you do on Gasoline Alley to calmly and methodically remeasure the car. They already threw a new motor at Graham Rahal's car. That didn't seem to make much of a difference. So private pavement for the 15. And it wasn't just speed Graham complained about in the last run. He was talking about the skatiness of the car, the rear end feeling a little dicey. So it's just a brutal set of circumstances again, 2 years in a row.
So what can they find?
Flag.
So watching those LED lights at the top of the steering wheel, and Graham was complaining before that it wouldn't pull, but I see 236 at the end of the front straightaway, and he...
Yeah, looking good now, Jess, isn't it, actually? So it's not too bad for Rahal, his first official sort of runs with a new setup. The Honda should be better, and it should beat Seagulls, but he needs to make it 230.038. He actually makes that 230 mark, but now the question is he going to get quicker or is he going to get slower?
He's grazed the wall, I saw, a little bit there as well, so he was struggling a little bit. So my answer is I think he could potentially get slower, which is not ideal. He's losing time on this straight here, look.
Yeah, and he brushed it nearly at 2 as well. He didn't lift. He's kept full throttle into 3 and 4. Swings it, lifts a little bit, nearly put it in the wall at 3. Got super close up high. This is not a strong run from Graham Rahal. The car is dancing around everywhere as he comes across the line. And that last lap was a 229.706, Jess, worse than what it was before. So, yeah, this is not great from Graham. And if he's doing it again, that car's going to end up in the wall if he's not careful. He's got to take care.
Yeah, because otherwise it could be his Indy 500 dreams over. Only one small mistake could cost your Indy 500 dreams. So, Rahal's got to work something for the next. Well, he's got to think what can they do, of course, but at least they have teammates that are in the fast 12 that can help him a little bit.
He's backed out. The car was unsettled to 3 and 4.
Yeah, he's backed off.
Yeah, and he can't come down pit road. That's not allowed. So he's got to do a cool lap, get the car cooled down. So Rahal backs out of it.
Everyone's got to do a cool lap. That's the rules.
Yeah. So this is not looking good for Rahal. He gets to the 230. And as I see JT's here, he'll take over from Jess for the last second. When will they stop blaming the car and look at the driver as the problem? That's what Matthew Owens was saying yesterday. He'll be with us for qualifying as well. Right, Jess, you're going to swap out in a second. So what have you made of IndyCar practice before you join very later on for qualifying?
Well, I I think it's going to be interesting to see if the running order for the Fast 12 changes. Can anyone beat Newgarden? Can anyone beat Power, who topped yesterday? We'll see. But we probably know who could potentially be bumped out as well. But thank you for letting me join some of the IndyCar session. Best of luck for the rest of tonight. I'll let you get going.
Thanks, Jess. We'll swap over for Josh T, who's coming in, and we'll head over to NBC while we have cars back on pit lane.
And that's the speed outside of the broken part potentially. That's where they think they need to beat Siegel.
Yeah, he said before that was much better. That's the target. So they're going in the right direction. He said something feels wrong with the right rear. They asked him, can you make it back? He said something is broken in the right rear. We heard part of that conversation, but yeah, he said I can make it back, but certainly some stuff to diagnose for the 15 team. Meanwhile, Marcus Ericsson, a lot of overnight diagnosing. You said yesterday you just couldn't figure out why the car didn't equal to the primary car. Is it more equal now with all those overnight changes?
We're still fighting it for sure. There is something that we don't really get on top of with the rear of the car. It was quite loose again today. But we did some changes for the second run, and we finally got a rear of the car that I could feel for once since my crash. So we are not gonna, break any world records this afternoon. We're just gonna try and put this thing in the race, and I think if we can do a run like we did there just now, we should be okay. So yeah, that's at least that's promising for this afternoon.
When you're chasing the setup like you guys have been, does it make it harder when it's the hottest day of the month when you're trying to figure it all out as well?
Yeah, when I woke up this morning and saw the weather and the temperatures, I was like, that's the last thing we need is a day like this. But it's not supposed to be easy, and the team is it's been really pushing so hard the last few days, and also last night, everyone from the whole Andretti organization and the Maishank organizations all came together and try and help us out, and help us with directions and looking at data and all these kind of things. So it's been really a great team effort. So I'm very, very thankful of that. So, like I said, that last round was promising. Let's try and do that again this afternoon.
As tough as this month has been, if you're ever feeling down, your Swedish fans are right here cheering you on. Right there they are. They're saying, what's up? That's got to be cool. These guys follow you everywhere.
Yeah, no, it's great. We have great support, me and Felix and Linus. And I know a lot of people, there's a lot of people here, but there's a lot of people back in Sweden as well watching. So we really appreciate that.
How many times have you signed that flag, by the way?
Quite a few times.
I think every time they see him, they ask him for another autograph. But the Swedes are here supporting their driver, Marcus Ericsson. Seems like a very positive step in the right direction, Townsend.
It really does. Sigh of a bit of relief, but it's not done yet, as the changes that we saw from Nolan Siegel are about to be tested, felt, and hopefully
that was a good turn one entry, just like that every time.
Improve. Coaching coming from the spotter, and I think for Nolan Siegel, it's been a balance and a feel thing. That's what they're looking for, is to keep this guy absolutely flat for all 4 laps.
3 more, keep it up.
.228.4. Huh. Got to be a little quicker than that.
If Siegel can make the race, that would extend the record for Dale Coyne Racing with their 8th consecutive year qualifying a rookie. So this is something they are accustomed to, getting young drivers without experience here up to speed and making the race.
Well, he's doing his job. Wide open on those first 2
laps.
Bar
here. Remember your front bar, maybe a combo. Front bar here.
When they say maybe a combo, I think they're referring to front bar and a weight jacker adjustment, as Tony Kanaan, who comes in as a pinch coach down from the Arrow McLaren team, helping the young driver.
And that's Charlie Kimball that you hear talking to him, who unfortunately has this experience too. He didn't make the race his last try when he was with AJ Foyt Racing in, I think that was 2020. Did 9 500s.
Nolan Siegel,
I see what you got.
That's lap 3, 228.403.
Siegel's not even making 230 at all.
I wonder if maybe with Tony's presence or with the team, they made some changes that were like, okay, we got to make sure we're flat. Let's start there. And then maybe we trim out once the driver's confident. This looks like mission accomplished if that was the goal. But this probably is their last run.
This will be checkered flag. Good run, buddy. Checkered flag.
228.3. Okay, so totally consistent, and look at the fall off is effectively none. So what that tells me is they can trim now. Maybe they make another run now. Maybe they have time to come in, make the downforce adjustment, put fuel in, put fresh Firestones on, and give Nolan a chance at lower downforce to find mile an hour.
So the order in the last row shootout will be 34th to 31st, correct? So that's actually, I think, an advantage for Nolan Siegel, who had the slowest 4-lap average yesterday. He gets to go try his first run. That gives him more time to cool down the engine before he needs to go again. He conceivably will get 3 good looks at it in the time available in the last row shootout.
Enjoy just a cruise around the Indianapolis Motor Speedway for your Sunday drive here, bud.
All right, well, we watch Siegel on the cool down. Let's hear from Graham Rahal with Marty.
Yeah, let's chat with him. And Graham, I found it interesting. You got out of the car and immediately went to the right rear. What was the issue on that last run?
I'm not going to throw anybody under the bus. So we just made a mistake. We made a mistake, and we're very lucky that I caught it because had I continued to push, we probably would never race car right now.
Is the mistake, or is it going to be a concern later today when you go out to qualify?
No, we'll make sure that we're good in that regard. But I think, look, obviously we lost more speed today again. We found some good speed at that last run, though. The third lap was actually trending up, I think 230.1 or something like that. It's not enough speed for Kat or Marcus, but we think we found some issues with the lasers on the car, and I think they're misreading. And we just discovered it now, and I think that's put us out of a zone that's just really inefficient. And so we made a step there for that run, and we found, what, 0.7 of a mile an hour? And I think it would be worth doing another step. But, of course, now we don't have the time necessarily to mess with it too much. We just got to put 4 good ones in and see if we can keep it consistent.
Lasers meaning the setup pad back in the garage kind of sent you in the wrong direction?
Lasers on the car itself and the way that they read. Everybody utilizes them to see how far off the ground the car is, down the straightaways, min-corner, and all that stuff. And I think they're reading incorrectly. And unfortunately, you know, we just caught it now, and we changed the attitude of the car a little bit, and not only did the car become way more consistent to drive, because I think when you get too low, like I think we were, you start to lose a lot of downforce. The diffuser stalls and everything else. Which is probably why my car has been a little more oversteery than my teammates. And so, you know, maybe I think we're just too low, and so we found a better zone. But look, man, we'll see what happens. These are days that you don't want to be a part of.
You went through this last year, Graham. Are there things that you can take away from doing this 12 months ago that you can apply today that will kind of help you manage the rest of the day and going into that last chance qualifying?
Well, I mean, you know, certainly there's a calm about you just because sadly you've been through it before. But the reality of the situation is we shouldn't really be in this position for 1 year, let alone 2. And so, you know, we need to make sure that we right the ship. And, you know, unfortunately, like I said, maybe we found something here. We can see, we have a gentleman named Andrea who's very solid on the team. And Andrea's got great analytics. And we could see this morning the drag coefficient of the car, the mechanical drag coefficient of the car has gotten considerably worse since Thursday. So something internally in the car is binding up. But it's hard to guess what item that is. You can change uprights, you can change gearboxes, you can kind of go on and on and on. The reality is we need to make the most of today. That's all we can do now. And then maybe through the week, if we can get in, and maybe through the week we can understand what's going wrong and try to address it. But we can see it. We know there's an issue, but I think it's a little hard this late in the game to understand what's kind of degrading.
Appreciate your time, Graham.
Yeah, thanks.
All right, so Townsend, you may have nailed it right there. It sounds like they may have discovered something on the car that, wasn't great on that run, but maybe is that a direction that they now can go, okay, now we can maybe identify the problem. Let's go in that direction and start fixing it there. Is that what's the case in your opinion right now?
So I think there's multiple issues here, Marty, and I really, really feel for Graham Rahal because this race team, they should be better. Graham was biting his tongue, but this is unacceptable. He's got lasers that aren't reading right, so he's getting improper dynamic ride heights.
We'll pull the gear a lot better down the back straight, like a lot better. Are we still lower than the others, though? We really don't know because of the lasers. Still lower than the others. We don't know that because the lasers.
So we're hearing Graham Rahal talk now out here on the circuit. Let's see what he has to say. That's why we've gone silent.
Like I said, though, on the pad.
So for Graham Rahal, again, multiple issues. He got this laser ride height issue. Now he's looking at his right here rear saying, what's this vibration I'm feeling? His wheel nut's loose. His right rear wheel nut was loose.
So that doesn't...
I can't tell you. This is like too many men on the field in the Super Bowl. This is... You cannot have these mistakes at Indianapolis on Sunday when you're fighting to make the field. Graham should not be in this situation. He's been very politically correct, but boy, he has every reason to be furious and frustrated.
So that goes along, that doesn't necessarily say, oh, we found it. That's why we've been slower. No, that was just why that's why he had to abort that last run.
Let's just listen in here to Coach TK.
Yeah, it's a loose wheel nut. That's insane at Indianapolis. It is a loose wheel nut. As Tony Kanaan took speaking of another cigar. Can't put it through the filter.
You put that flag in the center. The big grand thing about having
Just going back to the Graham Rahal situation, as the confidence builds for rookie Nolan Siegel, let's not forget that Graham Rahal's best chance to win the Indy 500. Flashback to 2021. He's at the front, pit stop. And rear tire issues as the left rear was never secure. Graham hard into the fence. And listen, sports teams, the very best, have mistakes. But on today, a day like today, when you have time and you have all these people there, it's just not acceptable that you've got a loose wheel nut for a qualifying sim. And Graham said it best. I mean, he could have destroyed himself and his race car in practice all by himself on the racetrack. And I say it all the time, this is like airplane racing. And you can't afford to have a loose nut on an airplane or a race car, especially here at Indy. So maybe I'm more upset than Graham is right now, but man, I really feel for the guy. It's just been a rough weekend.
And it would have likely been day done out of the 500, not qualifying for the second year with any kind of crash at this point. Marty.
Kevin, let's chat with Nolan Siegel. Great run for you guys. What's your confidence level today compared to yesterday after getting a couple more runs in?
My confidence is high. We've made a lot of progress with the car. Obviously, we're still not in exactly the place that we want to be, but we have a good balance. We're super consistent. We're flat for 4 laps all the time. So it feels good. We just need to find a little bit of speed. And, you know, that's where we want to be. Comfortable, confident, good balance. We'll find it, and we'll execute later today.
Is the next step for you guys to trim out a little bit more and kind of challenge you in that way? What's the next step to be able to get that extra speed you need?
Not sure. Well, look, we're not super high on downforce to make it comfortable. That's not where we're at or where we want to be. We're not here to make it feel nice and feel comfortable. We're here to make the race and qualify for the Indy 500. So we're not conservative on downforce, and we need to look in other places, and we will, and we'll find it.
Got to give you credit. Where was the genesis of the idea to say, hey, I'm going to call Tony Kanaan. What do I have to lose at this point? And what was the best piece of advice he gave you either last night or today when he's been hanging out with you?
Yeah, it's great to have Tony here. And, you know, there are a lot of people that have been willing to help, and I really, really appreciate it. A lot of great people behind me. We've got Charlie Kimball here. Tony's helping out for the day to see if, you know, he can find something. But no, at this point, I mean, we're obviously not quite there on speed, and there are so many people here that have so much experience like Tony. Obviously, you know, someone like that can bring a lot to the table, and whether it's driving wise or car wise, he just has a lot of knowledge, and I'm really, really grateful that he's willing to help, and glad to have him here. So we haven't spent a ton of time together yet, but you know, I think that we'll go back, we'll sit down, have a chat, and I'm sure that Tony will have some good ideas.
There you go. Kevin, I continue to be impressed with Nolan Siegel, just 19 years old, but man, he is wise beyond his years. Tony Kanaan helping out, Charlie Kimball helping out. This young man has a shot to make his first Indy 500 later today.
He's done a lot of big things, but this is the biggest, and this is what is in store just over an hour from now.
There's no qualifying like 500 qualifying.
The most nerve-wracking 10 miles you ever do.
It's one of the hardest things you'll ever do in a race car.
The drama continues. Crashes, changed engines, a car's time being thrown out.
You have to have a ton of trust in your team and your engineers to just go flat out.
Oh!
Didn't whiff, kept her foot in the throttle.
You have one shot at getting it right.
The most hair-raising moments because of how quick things can get out of hand.
Oh! Rita VK!
Bump day? I'll have nightmares about bump day for a while.
It's very critical, and you need to really feel what the car is doing.
Oh, Marcus Ericsson, big crash. Power to the top. Team Penske, 1, 2, 3. Kyle Larson slots in 6th place.
You always want to make it through to the next round, and it's nerve-wracking.
This is a gamble.
VK has another shot at the front row.
The ultimate adrenaline you can have in your life.
That's how you do it, Reed. Way to recover, Renus. That is how you do it.
This is what it...
The greatest spectacle in racing, and that's exactly what we get. The practice session is over, and we gear up then for the run. Here's your practice results, though. Newgarden, 234.052 mile an hour. Rosenquist to award second and third. Rossi fourth. Kirkwood fifth. Larson in sixth. And then it'll be McLaughlin seventh. He faces a bump here, getting locked into P7. Sato, Hunter Ray, Ferrucci, Power, Leg. Well, and then, of course, that's the 12. The only one not to run was Venus VK from the fast 12. He's focusing on the run next time out. In terms of who can be bumped, well, Leg qualified, 231.304. Ericsson, Ray Hall, he even got to 230. Nolan Siegel still 229.337, yet to clock in a time at 2:30, and he'll have less than an hour to get prepared as well before we are back on air for qualifying day 2 in 59 minutes time. Join us then. From us all here, we'll see you soon. Go have some lunch. Bye-bye.